Well, I'll speak from the UK perspective because that's what I follow most closely, although I live in Brussels. Essentially, the British campaign was conducted against the backdrop of one of the craziest political scandals that there's been in recent times, the expenses scandal in UK politics, where politicians were variously claiming for duck islands and clearing the moats of their country houses. So it was against this sort of notion that all politicians are corrupt that the elections were conducted. That doesn't really help when basically the British regard the European Union as sometimes rather corrupt as well. When it actually got round to the elections, the elections were used as an opportunity to punish the Labour Party, to punish the governing party. That meant that the UK Independence Party scored very highly, and Britain got its first far-right MEPs, 2 members of the European Parliament from the British National Party. So the overall results were rather concerning. One thing that was interesting was how the press covered the issue of the UK Conservatives leaving the European People's Party, European Democrats group in the European Parliament. That was one of the only things which was genuinely about European politics that was in the campaign, and that was quite interesting because basically the Conservatives want to perceive themselves as Eurosceptic, but not really nasty. And so therefore their potential alliance particularly with Law and Justice, the party of the Kaczynski twins in Poland, was something that did in the last days actually enter into the election campaign. And that issue is going to rumble on in the coming months. So that shows actually one thing, that it was something that somehow British people, or at least British political geeks, at least now know what political groups are in the European Parliament, which they wouldn't have known before the election. So in a certain weird way, that story, which is not good for Britain and British politics overall, at least, was interesting in the election campaign.